Welcome to Alias Teacher TV. Today I show you how to transform a Maya Lowpoly model into an Alias 2020 SubD. For this I prepared two models. One, a more complex one from a Honda e-car, and the second one is pretty simple, just to show the steps to transform a shark.
The shark is easy to find because it's in every Maya, so you can go to the so-called content browser, which is in Windows and General Editors. There we have it. And the content browser is full of material. You find a lot of models here, easy ones, also peoples, and you can find animations and special effects and so on. What I want to show you is to get this low-poly shark transformed into Alias. And so let's see, it's in Animals, of course. Then we double click on that shark. Where is it? Here is it. And we get it in our Maya. So go closer, and if we switch on the mesh, we can see the mesh. Now what we want to do is to transform this to Alias as a set, and what we do is we write an export file, a so-called OBJ. So I select the shark, and I go to File Export. All, of course. Then I open the options, and in my case I have already selected OBJ, but you can see there are many of formats available in Maya, and so you have to choose the OBJ export, otherwise it won't work. Then we say export all. I call it shark from Maya. And that's it on Maya side, and we can change to Alias now. Now on the Alias side, we have to open the OBJ, and it's not what you would expect. It's not file open. Also, it's not import file. You have to use another command, a new one, which is called import SubD. That's the one we have to use, otherwise we won't get a SubD. And so we open the file shark from Maya. Looks kind of weird because our shark dives from the deep somewhere upward, and also looks different. But let me show you. First of all, we switch on our CVs, so we get the pattern. Then we switch off the model and switch on the shading. Now it's pretty similar to what we have in Maya. It's just the other orientation, and that comes from our orientation is Z up, and in Maya usually it's Y up because of animation and games. That's all Y up. And in automotive we have Z up. So what we need to do is just rotate our model, and that's pretty easy to do. We go to, for example, information window. Here we are. Go to the transformation and type 90 for the X value. And here it is. So now we can just play around a little bit and make our shark even more dangerous, probably. Not really. Now let's have a look on our second exercise, which is a Maya model of Honda E. And we have some specials, additional specials in this model. So it's a bit more complex compared to the shark we had. And we want to see what happens to these details or specials, as I would say, when we transform it to Alias SubD. So we have some sharp edges, which are called creases, which are the thick lines in this model. And there is one thing which we can't see right from here, but when we go closer, we can see we have a bevel there. I want to show you in the attribute editor, a bevel means this is a small radius. And when we change the value, for example, to 0.5, then it's sharper. So we can sharpen or smoothen fillets. And that can be done at any time because it's in the model. Now let's see when we transfer it to Alias SubD, what happens to these specials, creases and bevels. So I do an export as an OBJ, of course. So it's the same procedure than we did with the shark. And we jump over to Alias. So here we are back again in Alias. And remember, from the shark exercise, we have to use file import SubD. And with this, we can import the OBJ from Maya. Now, when you look at it, you can see immediately that there are no creases anymore. So the creases are lost. So that's not possible to transfer them from Maya to Alias. So we have to do them once again. So let's see the wheel arch, for example. And we go there, pick the edge loop here and crease it. Unpick the other one and crease it too. So that's the first detail. The second one, the bevel is coming right through it. So that looks good. So we have the bevel there, but it's now fixed. You don't have the attributes to change the values. So that's a point you have to have in mind. Now I quickly do the rest of the creases, and I can show you which finally comes out. So that's the way it looks now after reestablishing the creases. One thing which is pretty helpful is when we pick the faces of the windows and extract it as a separate SubD. So that's pretty easy. So I can pick the faces 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, here in the front, and say extract. Then I get a separate SubD surface. And I can do that for the side window, of course, too. And extract it. And to prove that it is extracted, I pick it. And I go to multi-lister, shaders, take the black one, and assign the shader. Also for the front window, of course, I assign it too. And let's go to the rear window, which is also pretty easy. Pick faces 1, 2, 3, 4, then extract, assign it. So here we go. And as you can see, when I pick an edge loop, for example, it's still alive. So that concludes this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Of course, I want to show you how to export from Alias SubD to Maya, and that will be a separate video. So there is an export function, of course, and export active as a SubD. That's possible too. Will be an OBJ, and the OBJ can be imported in Maya, in Blender, wherever you want. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you will come back to Alias Teacher TV for the next videos too.